Yeah.
Where you from, sir?
For Belle Glade, Palm Beach County, Florida.
And for people that have never been there, you know, what are you guys known for? What's going on over there?
Football, hunting, rabbits, fishing. You know what I'm saying? We got the richest soil in the world.
Wow.
The muck. You can squeeze water out of it. So, we're real inclined in agriculture. They make millions a day. Sugar. Yeah, sugar cane. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Florida's wild because, you go down 27 and, some people probably be like, where's that, right? But basically, it's on the way to Miami, right? Because I remember, because where I'm from in Hialeah, you take 27 down and you go right into the heart of the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲, right?
Facts. Yeah.
But, it's really crazy. You hear about places like that and the amount of money and things that most people wouldn't think about. Like some people are like, if you want to make money, be a doctor, be this, be that. And then you got sugarcane millionaires probably where you're from,
Yeah, billionaire.
Is your family originally from there?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and with the football thing too, I remember hearing about those brothers down there, man. They were fast. I remember one of the guys that was scouting us, he wasn't really impressed because he had visited y'all first. And, my coach was like, well, what's the difference between my boys and theirs? He was like, you don't hear the feet over there. They're too fast. The toes don't touch the ground. And they were always doing well. Belle Glade, is one of those places I would imagine like a bunch of other places, if it's not football, if it's not some form of agriculture, you might be able to get into some trouble. Did you see any of that down there?
Of course. Yeah. It's the same, it's the same everywhere else. Growing up, you're going to run into these stumbling blocks, you know what I'm saying, drugs, experiencing, with females and just, same stuff, stealing cars, breaking in houses, same thing, you know what I'm saying? So definitely that.
So at what point then does music kind of enter into your life then as you're going through all these things as a young man?
I don't know, man. I always been a music head, you know what I'm saying? Like, music, to me, was in my DNA. It's like, if I couldn't do it, I don't want to live. That's how deep it was for me.
Wow.
So, like, my dad played guitar. He played piano.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, for me, music was like a must-have. Like, I couldn't live without it. To this day, I can't live without it. So, it definitely... I say it's in my DNA. It's nothing I ran across. It just was something that just took over me, to be honest. Yeah.
And as far as mom, because if dad was into the music, what was mom kind of into? Was she more focused on home or?
Yeah. Like my dad went around, you know what I'm saying? I actually got a song I just did called Daddy. I had just, out of all these years, I just had to let it go. So it's out now. My mom was more so working. Yeah. It's the typical thing. My mom working 2 jobs. Wow. We stayed more so with my grandma. So me and all my cousins, so we all tight. Like we grew up, we shared the same underwear. Like we was cousins.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that type of thing going on.
And I always see it as a success story because it was a different era too. They had different priorities and there wasn't as many pressures, I think, as there are now. So when you look at somebody like dad who was doing whatever any dad might have been doing back then, I think maybe there might have been some comfort on his behalf knowing he procreated with a fabulous woman or, there was a grandmother and, there might have been different ideologies back then,
Yeah, I would say. I that's crazy. We was just talking about this, me and my girl was just talking about this yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Actually last night. I think, because I'm Haitian. My dad Haitian.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
we're brothers. Cuban, Haiti are brothers for sure.
Feel me? So I think, I don't know, man, like, my dad was never there, you know what I'm saying, like that. We seen him in there, but I don't know, man. I kind of look at it like, I'm going to just be real. And I never even talked about this, dog. Like, I think it was more of a citizenship thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It does happen.
Of course. Even back then it happens,
So I think it was him being married to my mom for citizenship. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And, me and my little brother came out the deal. So I don't really look at it. It is what it is. A lot of stuff I don't question, but I just what I think. But I'm happy for that.
Yeah, no, he did his duty. He did it well, and God bless that. you know, there's so many themes just based on what you said, man. And when you look at that situation, right, and us becoming adult men, you begin to realize the importance of the presence of the man and father in the home.
Hell yeah.
You know, because I think from a nature standpoint, and I don't think it's intentional, you know, I think when we talk about things like childbirth and whatnot, we're kind of like the second wing, you know, we do our job and then we're kind of there. But that presence, that stability, being that rock, you know, I think it's so important because it provides that comfort. We might not say anything, but people know what we're thinking.
Yeah.
We might, you know, just being accessible. I mean, you being an adult now, having a relationship, you know, possibly having a family. Yeah. How has that influenced you and your behaviors now with how you handle your household compared to how Dad did?
It definitely made me like I know that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know the feeling of playing sports and your homeboy daddy coming to see him and your dad ain't coming.
That's painful.
That's painful, bro.
Yeah.
Like I know that feeling. So my son, I used to drive all the way back to Belle Glade every time he had his basketball games, his baseball games.
Wow.
So I did that. So what it does though, it makes you more aware of the pain that comes from that firsthand. Yeah. And my biggest thing was I never wanted my kids to see me how I see my daddy. That was it. That would govern my whole father. Like, and I was a father early, bro. Like high school.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 17.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I'm like, yo.
Scary.
But that was a scary. I even stopped smoking weed behind that.
Yeah.
Because one time my daughter, she was like 3. She had nothing found the joint. I said she got it all around her mouth. And
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was it. Cold turkey, dog. Yeah. Because I wanted to uphold that father position so high. I was like, I ain't going to be like my daddy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me. And most fathers take that up with their grandkids. You know, they miss it with you. Yeah. So when you have your kids, they
want to make up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing, bro. So that definitely helped me become the father I am. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. And, you know, I look at myself, you know, I was very blessed. My wife gave me 3 kids before I was with her. Thanks. And then I actually made my first one when I was 30. And, you know, I look at myself as an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old. Right. And I personally would rather never run into myself at that age. Right. I don't know if me and him could have a conversation. I don't know if me and him could have a meeting of the minds because there was so much testosterone, so much impatience, just so much frustration because my father wasn't in my life from the age of like 2 or 3 before we moved from Miami. So it was just mom and grandma for like decades, you know? Gotcha. So I think it takes a certain type of DNA for gentlemen such as us because some brothers end up like us where it's like, that happened to me. I'm not going to continue that pain in that cycle. Right. And then others are like, well, they did it to me. I don't know any better, so I'm going to do it worse.
Exactly.
And you see that in our community, and you see where that's taking us. And then being a Haitian man, there's another thing and an angle there that I think a lot of people don't like to talk about. And it's pretty deep, right? When we're taken from Africa, our ancestors, whether it's to Cuba, whether it's to Haiti, Jamaica, etc., we had monogamy, right, to a certain degree. Like now, polygamy in the sense that, you know, a gentleman might have multiple wives, but they were his wives. Everything was on record. Everything was understood. It was cultural. It was decision, what have you. But there was fidelity, I think is a better way of saying it. We weren't sneaking around and none of that, right? But when we go to the new world and we're oppressed and we're forced to procreate with somebody that's not our wife to be able to create the most viable human being to produce a service that, you know, we're not even being compensated for, that actually changed our DNA, I think, a little bit.
Definitely.
And you look at the Caribbean man, regardless of whatever island we're from, there is that reputation. And because of it, I think that it has little by little destroyed the fabric of our home. And with that, you know, it makes us weaker because mom and dad aren't seeing eye to eye because dad might have this insecurity of I need to be with 100 women, or mom has the insecurity of now I have to be this gentleman's mom, and then we separate, and then the kids. And do you feel like not only within our community as Caribbean, but in general, how much of an effect do you think the absence of a home is affecting this generation?
I mean, we people learn more what they see than what they read or hear.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's a fact. So we creatures of habit. You know what I'm saying? We kind of mimic what we see. So being it that way, and it's a lot of other, like, we can go real deep into that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really by design. You get what I'm saying? So the effects that it does have, battling the music, battling the especially social media, the stuff you see on social media, the environment that they've created now that we live in makes it so hard to even have a relationship. Everything's so accessible. Then on top of that, like what you're saying, not seeing that in the homes, like, I feel like we was the last breed to really see how the world was and to how it is now.
I say that as well. The divide.
Yeah, that was like a blessing, because you got kids that's growing up in the middle of the thick of things that can't compare what it was to what it is. So they just stuck. They don't know how it felt to have a landline or a VCR. But we saw where it was and where it's at. You get what I'm saying? So we have a better judgment. But today, they just stuck. And I tell people that all the time. Like, when you're a certain age, you're going to see the world a certain way.
Yeah, the brain changes.
Exactly. So, but if you was born in 2010,
yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? You 14 or whatever right now, 15, whatever. You don't have nothing to compare. All you know is social media.
Yeah.
This is so. You have to take that in consideration of the environment that we don't control.
Yeah, no.
On top of not seeing that in the homes and not so it kind of like it raises you to be who you are. It's like sculpting, bro. We're being sculpted into this sculpture, right? But we're still supposed to be uphold to being in a household, one mom and one father. It doesn't match. It's kind of like trying to take old traditions into new ways. The world is so different now, bro.
Yeah.
It's like throwing a grain of salt in the sea. You just changed the sea. It's changed. So I feel like the way things were and how it is now, you can't compare. You can't. You know what I mean? It just ain't gonna work, bro, because this is a different world and environment we're in. So, and to not see that mother and father there, dog, is even worse. And even on TV, there's nothing that represents a black father or a father or everything is drama. It's like watching a movie with no drama.
Yeah.
That's a boring ass movie.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I look at it. So it's kind of like, when you look at it like that, bro, it's man, it's really deeper than what we talking about, because this is your one only life, your one only reality.
Yeah.
And it's being given to you on a platter, but it's infected with parasites and all type of things. And it's like, bro, you don't have the resources to change it.
Yeah.
Right? You could change it individually, but as a whole, we've been put in the world, bro, where we basically just been shoved out there, bro. Pushed in the world, dog. We had nothing to do with this. They didn't get our consent. They didn't ask us how we feel about this. It's just, this is what it is. That's crazy to me, bro. It's like people don't understand. You right in a psychosis.
Yeah.
Like you're in a reality where you don't control nothing. You don't even, I call it silent weapons for quiet wars.
Oh, God. Oh, man, the Matrix.
The Matrix.
You know, and what's even scary about what you're saying is that the plate that's being given doesn't convenience any of us.
At all, bro.
I saw something that was really eye-opening to me, because, you know, I think like after our generation, after that time period, you know, when we were coming up, we thought we were fed the false idea that success was, you know, a certain type of car, a certain type of lifestyle, you know, making money a different way. And now, you know, the consensus is that luxury is being able to provide for your family in a way where, you know, your wife is able to focus on your children, you're able to produce, possibly she's able to do things from home, just being home, which was how it was before we got here.
Facts.
And then everybody was like, no, we don't want to be like our parents. They're boring.
Facts.
They were just, in reality, they were in control.
Facts.
They fed us this false narrative. And this goes all the way back to Africa. This goes all the way back to Ifa. Ifa always said, no matter what is presented in front of you, there's no better place than home. There's no better place than having that as your fortress. And at this moment, I think the home is weaker than ever before. And because of it, you look at this generation who doesn't know anything else.
Fact.
I mean, they're just, this is what's normal. Like, for example, you mentioned, you know, all these different things, all these hardships that we went through. You know, how about going back to Haiti and using a bathroom, you know, that's a bucket or Cuba like we used to do, or no toilet paper, you know, no hot water and things like that. Did you ever get a chance to meet your father's family?
That's crazy, dog. Like, I'm still meeting some of my siblings.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like my oldest sister, she passed, but
condolences.
I got 2 younger sisters that just got over here like 4 years ago.
From the island?
From the island.
Wow.
Yeah, I met them for the first time on May 18th, which is crazy. But I've seen my granddaddy, but I never met him. The crazy part is I'm meeting a lot of them on Facebook.
Wow.
And they all had the same last name. We all got the same last name.
Wow.
So for some reason, bro, my dad won't never tell us nothing about it. Like, it's crazy. We've actually, like...
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, Dad's still around? Oh, stop it.
Man, I can't even make this up, bro.
Oh, gosh.
If you hear the song I did called Daddy, dog, everything in us real.
Wow.
Everything.
Yeah. So
it's like, I'm meeting my family on his side through Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't tell us nothing about him. And we've literally, like, got him, you know, to the house. All of us
like an intervention type thing.
Exactly.
Like, and nothing. He's old school, man. Like, some of those guys back in the day, you might have had 2 families on the same block and no one even knew about it.
Yeah.
And the Caribbean was different, but the interesting thing about you, Duck, is you look at that ancestry, right? You look how strong that blood is. I mean, Haiti is as spiritual as Cuba is. Maybe, I mean, it literally, Voodoo and all those things literally empowered the whole revolution. I mean, you knowing that, I mean, how do you recognize spirituality within yourself? Do you think it comes from that, or have there been other experiences that have kind of awakened you?
Yeah, definitely that. I've always been a light being, bro. Like I was telling him, I never worried about stuff. When I get it, I know what it feels like to just be fearless.
Yeah.
Like I tell people,
in the moment.
Yeah, I don't fear nothing, and that's what I fear.
Yeah.
That I don't fear nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've recognized this in myself a long time ago. Like, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at stuff the same. I haven't arrived where I've arrived for nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've been around enough people, different nationalities. Like, I've experienced it all to just know that this is different what I got going on. So I knew, a long time ago, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just see stuff different. Like, I can explain stuff to only certain people will understand.
You have to be on the same frequency. That head and that chakra, that ori, has to be opened up to be able to not only convey a message but also receive a message from a like-minded brother. I was looking on your channel yesterday. I saw that you came out with a video recently, the whitewashed saints and things like that. Touch on that a little bit. The concept you were trying to kind of push through there.
With the whitewash?
Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm trying to remember which video I did. There's so many videos.
It was recently. I think the point you were trying to make was that it's like you say, what's being served to us, what's being molded in front of us, isn't who we were. You know what I'm saying, or where we come from, and what's being fed to us is not what we actually need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's an agenda of the people that's running and governing everything.
Yeah.
And it's deeper than what most folks understand or can comprehend.
Or want to comprehend. Because when you understand it and you accept it, then you have to do something about it. Most people don't.
Exactly. So it's like, I think the more strong point with me is I try to come to them in a simplistic way.
Yeah.
Because most people, you'll be surprised at some things they just don't know. Words. I try not to use big words, so when I say what I'm saying is just the reality that we've been given, bro. Like, I try to get people just understand, bro. You was born into a world. Your mind is a program, and the things that you don't understand because you don't have the programs to process them, they weren't given to you. And just think about it, bro. They'll never give you the knowledge to overthrow them.
No.
So you at a disadvantage. I'll rip the school and like you name it, bro. None of this stuff is ever gonna help us. And people get at me all the time about the voting.
Yeah.
And I just tell them like I could give them. I always give them this quiz when it comes to voting, and just go with what you was asking me to show them. And I tell them how ignorant you are. And ignorant just means you don't know. It doesn't mean
we're not trying to insult. It's a word.
Yeah, it's just a word. So I let them know that, and it's just you don't know. When you go vote, you gotta know the difference. They don't know the difference between elect and select. There's a difference. You don't go select the president. You go elect. So you're picking from a group of people that's already been picked.
Yeah.
They're on the same team. Doesn't matter. When you go to the poll, I say it's a Gallup poll. They don't know what that is. This is a census. This is where they go to find out what y'all thinking. So now that y'all gave us all the data, we know how to move forward.
Oh, gosh.
You get what I'm saying?
Whether it's in this election or the next one, they know where we want to go and where we can't. Because if you know what somebody's thinking, you can hurt them.
Exactly. I tell them they get in front of your decision making.
Jesus.
Based off your data. It's just a census. It's like saying, hey, who want the microwave in the break room by way of hands? Now I know how to move.
Yeah.
It's simple. But they don't know the difference between a democracy and a republic. These are ignorant people to this process. Yeah. And it's by design. Yeah. So when I tell them all this stuff, and it's like, now, how do you feel? Even when they give you the pen to go back to work to say, I voted.
Yeah.
You're a walking billboard.
Yeah.
So it be simple things like that they don't think about. They just say, oh, go vote. For what? You know?
Well, then you hear about things like the Electoral College, and you're like,
that's
really?
Another thing.
You know, we're standing out here 6 hours sweating for somebody that doesn't even know who we are, and then, you know, the guy doesn't even come out because either somebody cheated, supposedly, or the Electoral College or whatnot. But then again, you look at it, I think COVID really revealed a lot of things too, Doc, because the faith and trust that we had in the construct of our government was completely decimated.
Man, listen, bro, if they knew who's really running the show, and what's really going on, because like you say, they don't want to know.
No.
They wouldn't, voting would be the last thing on their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even like you said, I've done videos on this, and I've read the comments.
Yeah.
I never knew so many people didn't know the difference between the popular vote and
No.
They didn't know. I'm like, the popular
Well, they make the
vote.
Class so boring, no one pays attention anyway. I remember, honestly, in government class, I was a pretty horrible student. I mean, we were messing around, you know?
Right.
So it's, and then you look at the way conventional education and things are formatted, they don't teach you anything that really matters. You know, they're teaching you know, they don't teach you about finance, they don't teach you about business, they don't teach, they won't teach you about the stock market, anything that really makes money. So you begin to realize they're putting us in a position to be sheep.
By default. Yeah. You sheeple. So it's 1,000 different, man, and it's hurting. You know what I'm saying? I talk about hurting. I talk about social norms. You know what I'm saying? Social pressure, forced behaviors. They don't understand none of this stuff, bro. It's like the way forced behaviors is just the way that we used to live. Now that AI is here, give it another 5 years.
We won't even think anymore. We're not thinking now.
But think about this. How could you be artificial and intelligent?
No.
You can't.
Intelligence is probably the realest thing we have, and if you take that away, we're nothing.
Exactly. So all we're doing, and like I tell you, man, when we like when the insurance companies say, hey, put this in your car, it'll make your insurance go lower. But what they're doing is they're tracking what you do. This is how they build these AI programs for trucking or for Ubers that's gonna be driving on their own. So basically, you participating in your own demise and don't even know it.
You're part of a study that you haven't even signed up for.
You don't even know about it, bro. So just imagine what you don't know. If you didn't know that, oh yeah, a couple dollars, man, I could save $30, $40.
What are they getting out of you? That's the real thought. And it's funny because we interviewed Tony Boy recently, a friend of ours. And he brought up a great point. He's like, look at the insurance policies that they pull out on rappers. You know, and the rapper is like, oh, I don't know. No, that's us for you, for us.
Exactly.
And you look at this epidemic now of all of our artists where that was unheard of when we were coming up. Like a rapper dying, like that was just a rapper coming back to the neighborhood was like, you know, make him feel welcome. We don't want him to leave too much. You know, everybody's trying to get put on. You know, when you, because I was thumping you in high school. We were all thumping you in high school, man. So when you started really popping off and, you know, you're interacting with people like Ross, you're interacting with all the guys down south, a bunch of different people, what are you starting to realize now that you're on the other side of that curtain of the stage? Was it what you thought it was going to be?
As far as the music business?
Yeah.
I realized that the higher I climbed, the more I saw how flawed it was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if you have any type of integrity as a person, it'll jug at you. Yeah. When you young and you telling your mama like, I'm gonna be on that Source Award stage, mom, like we look up to this to be like this big achievement. But as you go up, bro, you realize everything is bought. Everything is relationship. They don't care about the music because it's 1,000 other people that'll fill your position.
Well, you can tell that now by the quality of music. It's not to take away. There is some good stuff every now and again, but Tony was mentioning, he was like, the controversy.
Yeah.
They pay us to kill each other and then collect the check afterwards.
Exactly.
It's so wild, man.
And when you look at the music, the entertainment, the food, the education, who is controlling all of this? No one have a why. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out of school my 9th grade year, bro. Got back in and graduated a year early. Me or my brothers, never had a problem with school. And the thing is this, no one ever asked why. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a why person, you're going to accept whatever they give you. Yeah. You got to say, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? If you don't ask why, bro, you just a participant. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because I look at it like this, we could be in a crowd of millions saying, hell no. All the rest of them saying, hell yeah.
They plucked Galileo's eyes out for that. When he said the world was round.
You did?
They were like, Illuminati.
Yeah.
And then, he was right. But no one put his eyes back in after.
Exactly.
No one wrote him a letter.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, look at all this influence you up against. You up against the NBA, you up against actors, rappers, you up against politics. You up against everything. And this is why they want to control TV, radio. Because I tell them, this is how they get the message out. This is how they shape. Like a camera is a weapon, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything can be weaponized.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful what you put in front of the camera. They understand that. Your brain don't know the difference between a real shooting and a shooting on screenplay.
Yeah, no.
Screenplay is just as real psychologically
yeah.
as something physically happening or just on screen happening.
It thrusts you in.
They know that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, if you're going to blame rappers, you must blame the actors that's really like
all the gangster movies we were watching when we were coming up, starting off from Scarface and so on and so forth.
Yeah, this is real. Like I've seen some stuff, bro. And it's different when you hear about it. Yeah. But as you growing up and you see it, and when you, like, if you watch BML, like, bro, it's some graphical stuff on there, bro.
Yeah, you're there.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Like, and then, like I say, it's entertainment. No, bro. This is what we talking about, the molding and the shaping.
It's really crazy because, me and Phil, we joke sometimes because, technologically I'm a little adverse, right? Like I don't know, around the time when I became a 𝗏𝗏 and I started studying this science, I became so like entrenched in the old world, learning these things that were rustic before any of this was around here. And originally I used to think, man, I should have learned a little bit more about technology, right? But kind of looking at it now, I kind of thank God I got stuck where I got stuck, like functionally,
right? Because
of it, between work and parenthood, I really don't watch TV.
Right.
I really don't delve into the phone for anything other that doesn't promote this. And I'm a little thankful because I look at people that are so overly invested in that phone or that technology, and to me, they're lost.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to speak to somebody, especially the kids, like that's why we're so big with the family, like, go outside, go play. I'm careful with everybody. My neighbors, I don't even know who they are really.
Right.
But still, I need you to feel the grass. I need you to smell the air because we're gonna get to a point, and you look at things like autism and things happening at an all-time high, and it's from that screen.
Yeah.
It's from parents not able to be parents no more. Like I have to work 80+ hours a week. My wife has to work the same amount. Grandma can't keep up with the kid. Here's this iPad. You look at, and the food, forget about it. Like all these things that are preventable, it's terrifying as a parent.
It is. And I say it all the time, like, I'm telling you, man, I'm like, my mind works crazy. Like I tell people, when you think of a killer, you think of somebody who's
might look like us. Yeah, that's what they've portrayed.
Yeah, like you think of a killer like somebody who's shooting guns, snapping, and this and that. But I always say, if you're a parent that, you feed kids junk food, you're a killer.
You're killing them. It's like Don't Be a Menace when they're in the gas station and the man shows up and it's like, oh, you don't look like how we thought you were going to look.
Yeah.
But it comes in the form of Elmo on that bag of chips. It comes in the form of the Flintstones on that box of cereal.
Bro, don't you know they got neuroscientists that create
marketing, dog.
That create commercials for the left and right brain, depending on the product.
It's terrifying.
And I try to get people to look at color psychology, look at they know, like, look at a menu engineer. They know where your eyes go on the menu, in the middle, then here, then here, then here. So they make menus based off like this is the extent they go to control you. Like I say, I always say this, and I say it a lot. Amazon ain't smart. They just got all the data.
Yeah.
They know what sells.
They got the information.
They got the information. So information is more important and more valuable than oil right now.
Yes, sir.
So he who has the data controls the people.
Yes, sir.
And it's all because of the construct that we live in now, the artificial intelligence or being online and just being able to trace what you're doing. That's why they want to get rid of money. They can't trace where it came from or where it's going.
Tax-free. They can't. They don't want that.
Yeah, and if that happens, bro, bro, just imagine us. Like, they not worried about us.
Yeah.
20 years from now, these kids ain't gonna know nothing. They're gonna be born into a world.
The Matrix. And
now all they know is, this is how our money is. They don't know how it
Never seen a bill, never seen a coin, never seen a check. Don't even understand.
They don't understand.
Transactions, absolutely nothing.
Man,
you know.
Even on a check, bro, if you look at the line of a check with a magnifying glass, that's not a line, that's words.
Jesus, Doc.
That's why they say you sign on the dotted line. Like John Hancock. You got to look at all that stuff up, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, even with the court system, I talk about this all the time. People with straw man, you know what I'm saying? You having it's two of you. Basically you're a corporation. That's what you are. You are a corporation. You born in America, you are as a business. That's why when you get married, you get the same name, y'all become one business.
Yes, sir. When you do your taxes and things like that,
you become one. You just a business. So like if in court they say, like I say, if your name in the first letter capital, the rest lowercase, that's the personal you. The business you is your name in all caps. Like if
doing
you
business
doing business. So you can't do business with a private person. You have to do business with business. So when you go to court, they ask you who you name, and you say, yeah, that's me. You just granted them, right, permission that you saying I take full responsibility for my straw man, which is my business entity.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People don't know. That's why I say when you really dig into it, you start to realize these people, it ain't their fault. It's not their fault. We're ignorant by default.
We allowed them to happen.
You feel me? So, and I look at them like, that's when it get tricky to me, because I realize that you born into a world where you've been plugged up, just like on the Matrix.
Yeah.
They control what you know, because what you know is all you know, and all you know comes from these same people. They understand what you know and don't know. So you're doing 100 mile per hour down the wrong road. You're not a threat. They don't worry about you because you don't know nothing. They the ones that taught you what you know. They told you that's a tree. They told you that's a car. Like, you really think this is an arm, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just a form of communication,
yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's what this is.
Yeah. You're telling me that's what it is,
You're telling me that's what
it
is. That's it. So when you, it's like cognitive dissonance, man. When you've been told something over and over and over, your brain develop a truth about it.
Yeah.
So by default, if I say something other than what you've been taught,
the brain just shuts down.
Yeah, it kind of resists. Like, no, I've been told. So it's so much stuff about your body that they know that you don't know.
Yeah, that they're taking advantage of.
Man, majority of people, bro, they just here for the ride.
Well, Doc, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was in high school in my Monte Carlo with all my friends and we were listening to you, you were talking about a bunch of different stuff.
I was.
And we loved it. But, we were at a different stage of life, we were outside. So, But my question is, what led to this awakening, brother?
Honestly, bro,
change?
I tell people this all the time. This was always the plan. I knew this stuff when I was 13, 14.
Wow.
So, the plan was to gain the notoriety, to gain the wealth, to gain the resources, and to change it. So that been the plan the whole time, to switch over anyway.
I tell you that, for the people that want to silence you and want to cancel you and things like that, that's a scary concept that somebody can be that complex. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're from places like where we're from South Florida as well, I think that's one of the biggest things that we're undermined about. Like, you go to the random corner in 𝗶𝗸𝗏 and you see one of us, no one would ever think, hey, man, that man might have... Look at Cat Williams.
Facts.
Look at his IQ.
Facts.
And you'd never expect that seeing him on, 𝗶𝗏𝗏 Boulevard.
Right.
But we're out there. And there's people that are enlightened. There's people that are elevated.
Mm-hmm.
What is your goal now, specifically with between your music now being on a different tip and you being awakened? What is your goal now with this generation coming up? What do you want to instill in them?
Honestly, man, I just wanna. I kind of follow what Tupac said. Like, I might not see the world change, but I just want to help spark those who will, and do it in a way that's strategic. Because just like you say with Cat Williams, had we known how he was when he first came out.
Yeah, because everybody knew him from Friday After Next or whatever. It's just the pimp from the parking lot.
Exactly.
You know, like, let's not pay attention to him. But then you think, why did they put him in that role? Why you begin to like to when you know somebody has that caliber, because when you're a scouting agent in movies and things like that, it's easy to see that guy's a genius. When you see that, it's like, well, you know, I want to kind of discredit this guy subliminally before he ever speaks, because now when I first was hearing about that interview, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a couple hours and watch, you know, the guy from Friday. But when I started seeing what was coming out, I'm like, man, look how they did him, because they knew that one day this might happen based on how they treated him. You know, what was going through your mind when you saw that interview?
Perfect. Like, that was because, you know, I think what happened, I studied Tupac. Like, when I was on the road, right? Yeah. I was on the road, hotel after hotel. That's when I was moving so heavy, bro. I studied him for almost, 2.5 months straight. Every time I got where I'm going, I'm looking at every interview, I'm looking at everything. And what I come to realize is that his passion for what people thought about him, that's what got him killed first.
He was a passionate man. He believed in what he believed in.
I think that he was trying to tell people what it was, because all that was everything he did, beefing, all that, he just wanted to blow himself up bigger. It was a plot. Yeah. That's it. But he told it as he went, and they saw it coming. They saw his influence. Like, this dude was so powerful. He even said it himself. He said once they were calling me from prison, like, he had people in prison calling.
No, I mean, they even say that 𝗃𝗵𝗃 used to write him letters. Definitely the most influential rapper ever. Regardless of what you think about flow or music, just the impact, forget about it.
That's why I say, if he would have just stuck to it and then boom, came at it, it would have been too late. Because he had the influence. Like, this dude was that dude. But I think that his own people was tearing him down, and he couldn't understand that, and that's why he was like, well, I ain't never writing another brother have a baby. Y'all gonna do how can I rape a woman? Like, they saw it coming on as far as, like, from the government side.
Yeah, they were scared.
And he was just trying to tell his people, which was uneducated, didn't understand what he was trying to do and why he was doing it. And that's what led to this. I think Biggie just got caught up in the beef.
Got caught up.
It wasn't nothing about the Source magazine, all the magazines, they made that a East Coast, West Coast.
But that's
beef.
when I was talking with Tony, they said that they're pumping money into these controversies. Like, oh, what happened? You made a song, you know, saying you're gonna kill somebody. All right, let's pump a couple million into that. Make sure everybody hears it.
Exactly.
Their camp and these people back here, we might be together. Like, you're handling that camp, and they're at war, but we're cool over here. Pump some money into there. And then they're collecting the collateral damage afterwards.
Come on, bro. And the thing about it is, I always say this. We don't have the resources
that they have. No.
And that's why we'll always be at their mercy, because we don't have factories. We don't have nothing, bro.
The personnel.
We just buyers.
Yeah.
We don't have, like, when Kanye is the biggest. Kanye, to me, he got the biggest balls I ever seen. It's simply because he stood up to the ones they scared to stand up to. He put it all on the line. That's hard to do. He put his money on the line.
Put his life on the line.
He put
his family's life on the line. Everybody.
Exactly. He told you who they were, what this man had. Man, this man, he exposed it all, bro.
And he had no reason to do it. I mean, when you're sitting on a Billy.
He said it.
Yeah.
He said, man, I could just move to Hawaii. I don't have to do this.
Yeah, I disappear. I go off the grid.
Yeah, I live good. But I think for what he did, we need way more of that in order for to be respected. Because I'm going to tell you how it is at the top. If the bottom start coming together structurally, right, and the ones at the very, very top, they see what's going on, they'll start knocking each other off.
Yeah.
They don't have no soul, bro. So they'll knock each other off just to join with the ones on the bottom because they want to stay in position. And all these rules, like I was telling them, all these rules that you see today, it ain't more so for us. We already took care of. Yeah. It's for them not to overthrow each other. That's why they have different policies. It's not for us. It's for them.
It's chess at that point.
That's what I told them. I told exactly. I said, this is they playing chess. Yeah. Because if they didn't have these things intact, they'll take over each other. That's just how they are. That's you know what I mean? But like I say, that with Cat Williams, bro, that was like a breath of fresh air for me, because I see that the plan, it works. And it's simply just understanding the way the world is, the influence, and being able to re-engineer what you see. Go with the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Get up on them. Let them, because it's at that time it's chess too.
Yeah.
So
you gotta
once
play the game.
You got to play the game. So once you get them, you got them. Now you come with this. They already accepted you. You know what I'm saying? He even fooled the powers that be for putting them on.
Yeah, that was a
saying?
play. It was a play for sure.
He used their platforms. Like I say, they'll never loan us their TV stations for no revolution or to uplift people. It'll
Until
never
you're so
happen.
in there that you can't stop it.
Exactly.
When that came out on 𝘃𝗂𝗃𝗃 and whatnot, it blew so fast. I mean, I heard about it one day, and the next day it had like 10 million, 20 million. It was about to get syndicated. I was expecting to see it over and over again on TV. And
you feel me?
The crazy thing you mentioned about Tupac is Tupac's mother, they say, was actually an 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗃 practitioner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you look at Tupac Resurrection, there's actually a scene in there where they have a still with the cowrie shells, right? And this is just you hear things and whatnot, but they say that he got a reading before all that happened. Where they kind of advised him to go through his process of 𝘃𝗶𝗃 or Ifa or whatever he was going to be doing, and he actually didn't make it.
Yeah,
that was the trip. So it's just wild when you see how our ancestral beliefs and the light that it provides us at certain key moments could have provided salvation.
Yeah.
Or could have provided that wherewithal to be like, okay, now I'm going to go this way.
Right.
So just to see how intertwined these things are, even things like voodoo, I mean, you have certain people with, huge, black St. Barbaras on their back, and you don't know how deep and that's what really scares somebody like me about Ifa is, because having practiced it my whole life and knowing how powerful it is, it in the wrong hands, especially somebody at the top of the building compared to the, the basement.
Yeah.
It's deadly. Like you've had presidents, like there was even, saying that, the president of Venezuela did witchcraft to the whole country and had everybody upside down.
Look, man.
Or even Haiti. Look at,
Yeah. I look at it as like, to me, spells are done in different ways. And that's why I say with me, when it comes to certain stuff, I just don't have no worry. I kind of just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that energy put me in the right, it shifts me around in the right directions. Yeah. But like I tell people all the time, like you got to be careful how you deal with people. You never know what they into or what's going on with them. You respect everybody with the right respect. And when you come like that, they don't have a reason to do nothing to you. I respect, like, I'm sorry.
Even
man.
a dog.
Yeah,
even a dog. I learned that from a very young age. Don't pick a dog. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because you don't know how the energy that you're putting into the universe is going to come back around to you. Because
that's true.
We're all going to go through it, And Duck, I noticed, obviously, what's coming up. You got election coming up. You're very vocal about that. And, what do you think about what's transpired within the last 2 months? I mean, between a candidate having a debate that was very questionable, falling out, and then, big T getting shot, allegedly, and then new candidate, what are your thoughts on what's going on?
It's the same thing. It's just
big
they the
theater.
Actors.
Yeah.
The world is the stage and we the audience. There's nothing gonna change, bro. It's like I had to pull back and say, I know people is not this stupid or dumb. I had to
But they can be that ignorant. We might be. We might be that misinformed.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I had to really say, you know what, these people not like they just that program.
Yeah.
So that what gave me some type of understanding as to not look at them in that way. Like some people, I can have a conversation. First minute, I know how long this conversation gonna be.
It might be a minute and a second.
Yeah,
it might be over quick. Yeah,
and I respect that without tearing them down or trying to get at them. But before I was, I'm from Belle Glade, bro. It's like
we got a point to make.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I had to realize that these people are being programmed, and the programming is so powerful, bro. People, like, I'm gonna show you something. Like when we was just talking about with the spell thing, I always use this as an example. If you take a police officer and some kids run in the store and steal a bunch of Louis stuff and just run off, the police officers chase them. One of them pull up, boom, police officers out of there. Now you got to explain to his family what happened. Yeah. Now he's trying to protect some product that was stolen from Africa, right? First off.
Yeah.
Secondly, that's insured. That's probably gonna get. They're gonna say it was way more than what it was through insurance.
You get 3 bags for one anyway.
And then the family that owns it is somewhere in Italy, you know, eating cheese and crackers in front of the fireplace.
Who doesn't care?
That's a spell you under as an officer.
Yeah, those brands and things like that. Yeah,
that's a spell. Like, what would make you protect something that's under that type of like that is stolen material? First of all, those emblems on Louis and all that. This is so for you to say I'm gonna go to work to protect something from someone I don't even know.
Yeah,
you in a system. To me, that's a spell.
Because they're being programmed the same way we're being programmed to hurt each other.
Exactly.
For a bigger context and consort that really won't even show up at the funeral.
And you can be controlled through spirituality, or you can be controlled through the framework of the environment you in.
Yeah.
It's the same. It serves the same purpose.
Yeah.
They can get you to do something to somebody the same way.
Yeah.
You could why you did that? This is my job. But it was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you got police officers that'll go and, you know, detain people that's trying to do the right thing, all because of a job. It's the same.
It's like what just happened now. I forgot what part of the country where this woman had a boiling pot of water, and the way they were. I mean, bro, that was the most heartbreaking thing, dog. Because, you know, I mean, you look at people from a single mother household. Like, how many times did mom boil ramen for us? How many times, you know, all these things. It really, it took me to a place where, like, that could have been my mom. You know, what and you know what's scary, and I was talking about this the other day, was that before, when they were, you know, they had the resources and they could really assemble a force, right? Mm-hmm. You used to get people from the neighborhood to patrol that neighborhood.
Facts.
But now you have people, because obviously South Florida, New York, these are very different places. Like, if you're from Iowa or Idaho, you've never seen what the jungle looks like this, you know? So you take a police officer who's trained to handle Iowa politics and you put him in the Bronx, or you put him in, you know, I don't know, Liberty City or whatever. And that first person who's going to speak a certain type of way or whatnot, they're going to be completely shocked. They're going to be like, how do I handle this other than this, you know? And then we have these situations. There's no reason to kill a woman over a boiling pot of water. My grandmother threatened me with boiling pots of water. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the thing about it is this, bro. I can post some female with a thong on, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's inappropriate."
Yeah.
But they'll show that.
Yeah.
Across and like I tell people, they're gonna always be that type of brutality from police officers to that extent, because it's like watching a scary movie. It's like
it's
you
subliminal.
watch it, and it withers away, out of sight, out of mind. But they have to keep this on your mind
to let you know, hey,
who's in control or what's.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
And that's always been a big thing with me is because as a young man, I never realized the culture I loved the most was my own.
In fact,
you know, my grandmother had your same complexion, and you know, you start looking for, you know, I studied, you know, Asian culture, all these different things, but it wasn't until I came back to Africa, I was like, man, this feels right. And you begin to read about people like Orula. You read about Mansa Musa. You read about 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗏. You read about all these incredible people, even the female warrior kings that now is when these independent producers are starting to put this out. And all we want to talk about, which not to take away from it being horrible, but we literally, I remember in 6th grade, we spent a whole year in history on slavery, a whole packet. And there was not one positive aspect of African culture expressed whatsoever. No, we're showing you this so that it never happens again. Well, are you showing it to me so we don't do it again, or so you don't do it to us?
Right.
You know.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. Just sitting in them classes puts us
it's nonsense.
Yeah, puts us at a disadvantage, because you got to think they're painting your reality. Yeah. And what you know is all you know, and all you know is it comes from them.
Yeah.
So
their story.
Exactly. So it's like I say, he who controls the past controls the future. So if I teach you everything you know, that's all you know. Yeah. You don't know nothing about over this. You don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
I got you. You know what I'm saying? And I put you around. I put you in an environment which is a uncontrolled or a controlled environment, where you see what I'm teaching you. It relates to what you see. This is the Matrix, so it looks even more real.
Yeah.
And like I say, bro, it's like we live off what man say more than what God say, or whatever, whoever you you know what I'm saying? Because, like I tell people all the time, God not gonna bless you with money just to buy something He put here for us for free. Don't make sense.
No, the wisdom is where it comes. Wisdom and wealth start with the same level for a reason. Like, if I have a strawberry, right, and I don't know if that strawberry is poisonous or not, I'm never going to gain those benefits. So when you look at a fruit being knowledge, you know, and taking full advantage of it. I mean, going back even to biblical scripture, the knowledge, go back to the apple. The apple represented knowledge, and what happened as soon as they went for knowledge? They were damned. They kicked them out of paradise. So once again, a lot of subliminal things, and now in this type of culture, Western culture, we're taught to look forward and not look back, but in reality, we have to look back before we can move forward.
Exactly.
All that knowledge, all that wisdom, what were we doing before the church got us?
Right.
What were we doing before we ended up in all these different temples and things like that? We were back in Africa worshiping Ifa or Mayombe or any of it, Voodoo, any of these things that came right from the earth.
Exactly. I always said spirituality is in your DNA, it's in your essence. And I always thought like religion was a book because people lived it. They didn't have to read it. Like I get it, but I just know from the anti-literacy laws they put on us. Even at one point, it was illegal for blacks to even indulge in religion. Yeah, they couldn't gather.
That's where hoodoo and things like that really spawned here, because they had messages and forms. Like I interviewed my godson Rafiq, who's an initiate over there, and you know, because the person that was able to actually learn how to read was the pastor, to be able to read the Bible. But some of them stayed true, and they'd put messages in the Bible to be able to tell the congregation, hey, we're going to move this way today, or we're going to do this, or this is what, you know, and they were able to survive. So, you know, since then, some people have been able to maintain that link, you know, and protect themselves. And that's why we're talking about it today, or we're still even present, you know. But, you know, I hear about all the positive things you're doing. I hear about all the conscious things you're doing. From what I understand, you have something coming up, like a competition type thing, you know, with musicians or rappers, you know, conscious rap and things like that. If you'd like to talk about that, for sure.
Yeah, just what me and Phil was talking about doing on the channel, just giving, because it took me years and a lot of work to build the channel, but I also want to open it up to those who can utilize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, so we want to pretty much be able to give them a platform to say, man, let me put my music on here to be heard by people. And like I say, you know, just
which is unheard of. Yeah. You know, a lot of people make it to your position. It's like we were talking about. I used to see you in Point Siena all the time, and I remember Mike Tyson said this recently, man, and I hold it so true, because as a man, there's no better place to be than amongst your people.
Fact.
If you're able to actually be with them, you know, if you've been able to uphold that reputation and that integrity and that fiber to still be accepted, because there's no greater moment, I think, than when, you know, the young lion leaves and comes back with his beard and his mane and he's accepted, you know, and for you to do that for the guys coming up now, especially music being so cutthroat, which, you know, isn't a secret, is really, really incredible. I have to ask you, because I've been looking at it all interview. That's a beautiful piece of jewelry.
What that?
Right there, the one you have. Man, could I humbly ask you, who is John?
Yeah, John, that was my best friend, manager. I got him here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
love.
got him over here.
Wow.
I got him over here. So that was my that was the reason part of the reason I moved to Orlando.
Wow.
So that's like my best friend, my brother, my manager. He was the brains. He was born with a gift, bro. Like, we all, as Haitians collectively, we knew he was the brighter one. Yeah. We knew he was the one he was the leader. Yeah. It was undeniable. And we allowed him to be who he are. That's why I say, like, when you really with a conscious group of people, like you were just saying, around your people, it showed me where, like, we helped each other drop each other cars. Yeah. So if I want to drive your car today, I could. If you want to drive
switch
mine,
it up. Yeah.
Yeah. If you eating food and you walk up, I could just, you know, I ain't not disrespectful.
No, it was family.
We ate out each other's plate.
It was family.
We go to the barber shop. One person pay for everybody. We go to the, you know, it was just like, that's like real.
It used to be like that. Yeah. That fraternity, especially, you know, just being Caribbean, and because I was raised with so many Haitian guys in 𝗶𝗸𝗏 and things like that. You know, when the Zoe movement really changed, and, you know, it was about empowerment, when it was about protecting each other. You know, I remember going to Lemon City as a kid. I remember, you know, 2nd Avenue and all that stuff over there. You know, real gentlemen. You know, real thorough guys, and it was so beautiful to me, because it reminded me so much of home. You know, where we're from as well, and you begin to realize we're really all the same thing. We look a little different now, but now is when we're focusing on that. But back then, there was none of that. You know, especially South Florida, where everybody was around each other all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Duck, through your travels, you having survived so much, you having seen so much, whether it's music, whether this conscious movement that you're now pushing forward, I mean, what do you feel like you've learned, and what do you feel like people should know now at this stage of life that you've been able to learn right now as a message?
I think, man, that's a good ass question.
I try.
Honestly, though, I think people need to redefine a lot of stuff. Like, don't let small things, like what small things to you, like big things to you may be the smallest things to me, because I redefine what a problem is or what an issue is.
Yes, sir.
That helps me navigate through the world. It helps me appreciate, because everything that's valuable or is free. You know what I'm saying? The most valuable things, to breathe, to walk, to be able to, that's the most valuable things to me. You know, the money, since I done had the money is, all money does is it puts you around people that
want the money.
Yeah.
And are willing to do anything to you to get it.
You get it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't, when you hear people say more money, more problems, you got to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think right now, moving forward, just know that I think you need to unlearn and relearn as much as you can, because that's going to really put you on the right path to a better understanding, versus being in a situation where psychologically you've been lied to, you've been told all the wrong things. And if you look at it, all you need is common sense. You know what I'm saying? If you take it, like I always say, America is a individualistic country. You know, it's not collectivism. Like,
no, there's no identity.
Yeah, we used to laugh at people living in one house. It's 8, 9 people. But if you think about it, those are the ones that bought the block. So when you, like I always say, when you living in one house and there's 6 of y'all and y'all working for 6 different bosses, y'all got 6 different cars. You
never progress.
So things like that, you have to redefine. Like, it's more beneficial to be together than not. That's just common sense. But we've been taught to do everything on our own. That's just one example. So if you look at it like that and you start redefining things from a spiritual standpoint and just an understanding, you can make more sense out of this. Because a lot of stuff growing up, I was a why person, like I said. That just don't make sense to me. And when it don't, I have to challenge it. That's why I say, when you got a little kid that always asks questions, let him.
Yeah.
Let him. You got little kids, it'll nag you. But as a child, as a young boy or young girl, it don't seem right to them.
So it must not be right.
Yeah.
We should be emulating them, you know. Really, our whole lives, we're just trying to be youthful once more, and that comes from intellect, innocence, all those different things. And my daughter sometimes does it to me. She'll be like, why? And I'll have a moment, I'll be like, I can't even repeat this because this don't even make sense to me. I got to go back to the drawing board, you know, and they keep us young and they keep us alert.
Yeah.
And it's crazy you mentioned 6 living in a house who bought the block. I was watching recently a Tate short, you know, Andrew Tate, you know what I'm saying? Who's,
Tate,
you know, he's got some things to say for real. And he said it. He said he was in college or something like that, or he started training kickboxing. You saw it, right? When he had a Muslim friend, and he was like, how y'all pushing Lambos? He's like, well, it's the same Lambo, but the difference is me, my brothers, and all their families live in this house, and we all pull in, and that's how we bought your house and their house, and now we all have our own houses, but the difference is the loyalty.
That too.
The trust, the what binds them, their spirituality, their concepts, their morals. Right. And I think by demoralizing a society, you make us weak. So we fall for everything. We fall for everything.
And it works.
It works.
Divide and conquer works. And they divide us socially, financially. Every aspect, bro, we are divided. Think about it. If you on the corner and you eating, it's like, if I can't share my food with you, why would I want to be around you?
Why do we feel that frustration to stunt on our own people?
And where does it come from? That's the why.
Like, it's us trying to. I think it's us trying to impress people who don't care about us. So, for example, when you look at, like you said, a certain type of design or whatever, why do we feel the need to wear that? Because it costs a lot. Because we come from poverty. But we don't realize that the people who have the money, who are actually selling us, they don't even wear that. The richest guy I ever met, he had a pancake stain on his shirt. He had a hole in his underpit, and he was wearing flops, bro.
Straight up.
And he could have literally flipped the bank upside down with a snap of his fingers. He used to walk in, oh, how you doing, sir? Champagne. Like just off the credit.
Right.
So you begin to realize it comes from pain, but we can't spread that no more.
Right. You know That's all it is, man. It's just understanding that. You get what I'm saying? Some people are just the right fit for what America wants. Go to work, come home, work your whole life, get a pension.
That's not real no more.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want you to just don't ask questions, do as you're told.
Work and die.
Work and die. So it's like, no, bro, my one only ride, I take my chances.
Or hang on to the steering wheel.
Yeah, I'm not, no, bro. But this the information age, you know what I'm saying? And I just, more and more people are waking up or realizing. But what we don't realize is AI is helpful now, right? But basically all we're doing is we're transferring our duties over to AI, and we're going to be at their mercy. And people don't understand, like I tell people, the reason these gadgets going to be able to talk and speak to each other is through Wi-Fi. Know that, right? So if anyone was to create a program that can tap into Wi-Fi and could make the gas in your house go up, lock you in your house, make your car go left, go right.
They made movies about this 30, 40 years ago.
Bro, they have to tell you this before they do it. It's just escaping the 𝘃𝗏𝗃𝗍.
They gotta test it out.
And they have to tell you. This is like the cabal. They have to tell you what they're gonna. Hey, smoking cause cancer. But if you choose to do it, they didn't do nothing wrong.
You did it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
but
you're coerced to do it.
But you put it in front of me 30 times, you know what I'm saying, subliminally in every movie and everything, you know. No, it's definitely a deep spider web, brother, and that's why I thank you. I thank you so much for making yourself available. I tell you, one of the most enjoyable moments on this program is being able to speak to brothers that, even though we're walking on a different path, we're walking parallel.
Facts.
And, you know, Ifa has taught me, like your experiences have taught you, that there's so many ways back to the truth of the source. And the most important thing is to walk with those that are walking in the same direction, in the right direction. And, and you know, I got nothing but love for you.
Appreciate
Been a fan for forever, and nothing but appreciation to you and Phil for making this happen, of course. What's next for you?
Just, you know, the music. Because once everything switched with music, a lot of us, we didn't know what was next. It threw a lot of us off.
Well, you dedicate and work so hard towards one thing, and then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think I couldn't make clarity of it. It's like in the back of my head, I knew it was going to come. But now it then came.
Nice.
So now it's where there's no gatekeeping no more. Like, people don't understand.
You're in control.
You're in control. All you need is a phone. You can reach people. So now it's just creating the music that I want, because like back then you had to make music that can come.
It was the trap era.
Yeah,
the trap. What I'm saying? Yeah, that's everybody. Everybody had a brick, and they weren't making no houses.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a little different.
So it's different. So now there's no gatekeeping. Like, people don't understand with music. I ain't trying to make this question long, but people don't understand with music. It was a lot of gatekeeping, not just from the labels, but from the DJs.
Well, I mean, you look at somebody even like a Pitt, right? Pitt started off straight trap, and then he started making house hits and you know, reaching the world. Once he was in that position, he had to work a little bit. But now, like you said, with the phone, anybody can do it at any moment.
You can do what you want. You're not. A lot of these artists are slaves to their deals and slaves to the labels.
Scary, the paperwork, man.
Yeah, so they can't create what they want. You got to understand that, to be in that position, but to not be an artist. No, you're not an artist. You're a tool.
Yeah,
we need you to put. Yeah, we need you to make this type of music. So when it's time to use you to connect to these type of people, here you go. Nah, we don't gotta do that no more. So now for me, I can make whatever I want. You get what I'm saying? So that's why we did the Bill Gates. If you watch the Bill Gates video we just dropped, and we just talking about, you know, everything that's going on, and now it's just making that type of content, building that audience, because people want that. They just not giving it to them.
Yeah.
People really want real music.
Yeah.
So giving them the music, doing the podcast, we got skits that we do too. I got the skit that we didn't release yet. We finna release it. It's about me playing a judge. So I'm the judge, my partner the bailiff. We got a little audience in there. We using the 𝘃𝗃𝗃𝗃 situation where I'm showing the woman how we use her to get to the father. And once we lock him up, now you're a slave to us because now we're the father.
You know, welfare and things like that. Yeah.
So it's
the destruction
like
of
that.
the home. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but there's definitely a meaning there. And I tell you, if you're in a movie, I'm watching it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you need any backups or whatever. I'll just stand there. But I'm very happy to see you back in your element.
Definitely.
You've gone. You've grown. You've been able to awaken, and that's really as a man and as a human being. When we get to that point, hopefully sooner than later, you make a change for somebody else with what you're doing, man. So I congratulate you, your significant other, your situation, and thank you so much, for real.
Definitely, man. It's all love.
Oh, man. What do you think, Phil?
That was one of my favorite interviews. Not because I know you guys both personally.
Yeah, sure.
That was
You're the matchmaker today for sure. You've been talking to me about 𝗃. You've been talking to 𝗃 about me. I'm watching you.
Yeah, no, that was one of my favorite interviews. And whoever's
awesome,
watching, please make sure you leave a comment.
Please, for sure.
Man.
With that. But that's it. Guess what, guys? It's that time.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
It's that time to give some shout outs.
All the members.
Yes. So if you're wondering why I'm playing that music, and if you're watching this video from the first time, you could be a part of Papa Duck's crew. You're trickling in. You can join our membership platform. It's that button directly under this video. We have 3 different tiers that all offer 3 separate things in each tier. So it could be discounts on merch, early release videos, or private videos for you. So let's show some love to some of our members here.
Here we go.
All right, VIPs. We got Marco Antonio.
Marco.
We got 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Goddess.
Nice.
And we got some love for Kathy.
Thank you.
We got also we got Reppin' Sets.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, and shout out to the super fans. We got 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Okay, we got Ray Valentine.
Nice. Thank you, Ray.
We got Shannon Torres.
Voodoo.
And Sublime Prince BW.
Oh, man. There's some great names, guys, and you're the best part of the channel. We love and appreciate you. Definitely check the description. We're going to have all of 𝗃's information for upcoming music, his channel, all the great things that he's doing. 𝗏𝗏𝗏candlesandmore.com is up and running for all your service and product needs. We do ship. Please catch the podcast or the audio cast on Spotify, iHeart, any of the major platforms. A big thank you from all of us. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see the light, guys.
See ya.